Unit 7. So, what did I do? I created a package, Unit 7. I created a class called Security Panel. That's what we're going to be working with. In this app, we'll be working with switch statements. I'm highlighting the codes that we're going to use. Security Panel. It works like this. You punch in your security code, and this app is going to tell you who you are. And we're going to do this using a switch statement. Now, I've already done my security panel, and I also did a main method. You can see them over here, security panel, main method. Let's take a look at the main method. Of course, it created the security panel, constructing an object, which is an instance of a class, and it calls the set default close operation method, and that's my main method. So you need to go ahead and make a main method just like this, and you also need to create the security panel. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to pause the video as you figure out all the things that we are going to need. I'll highlight them. So you can see what we need here. Security code JLabel, security code JPassword field, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, all the buttons that I'm going to use to punch in that code. We also have at the bottom here the access log label, the text area where we're going to show some message based on whether the code is correct or not, and some scrolling in case we need to scroll. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask you to take all this down, do all the imports, create your constructor, create your user interface method and everything, and have everything stubbed out. Go ahead and do that right now. Pause the video and get all that information. Well, if you're back, that means you pause, you have all the information, and now we're ready to build. So just like every other time, we're just going to build this fast. The idea is code that was already written will be used. So here is my create user interface. I created all the bounds and everything to set these things up. So that's something that's we're used to by now, and we're going to do it right after. So before I do that though, here let's look at all the methods that I got. I got these things from other places. You see, I have the content pane, the label, text field, anything that I want to set up. Oh, look at this, the password field. We did that in some app before. Go back, find the app, find where you did this, and grab that method. We also had the text area, and the scroll, and the button, and the window, and the error message, which is just from the unit before. We're going to keep using it. And we have the calculate action to add to the button. Now let me just say that even though this is not really a calculation, the button would still work with this, but I'm going to go ahead and change the name. Okay, I'm not going to call it the calculate action. How about we call it the security code action? Security code. Because it just makes sense to give it a good name. So instead of calculate J button action performed, how about security code? Just so it could make sense, you know. I'm just going to copy that. So we have the security code. So yes, we're going to add this security code to the button when we're all done with it. Try and catch. Well, I'm not so sure we need this because we're just going to simply be punching in a code and hitting an enter button. So there will be no user input per se that is incorrect. And even though a code is incorrect, it doesn't match any of our codes, we could take care of that in the switch statement. So I got rid of that. So all this stuff that we got from the apps before, we're going to use. And you should go ahead and grab all of them. Make sure you get all. Okay. So you can pause the video and make sure you get all. Let's see. We needed the calculate action for the button. I changed it to create security code. We need the display error message, the setup window, setup button. Feel free to pause this at any point. Set up the scroll pane, look for these things. Set up text area, set up the password field, the text field, the label, the content pane. Let's get ready to build. At any point, you need to pause and get all of that. Let's build. So we have this guy, the security code label, and we're going to set it up. And, you know, I'm just going to set them up by looking for anything that matches. So we have that one label. And let me put in the bounds. So we could move a little quickly with this. The security label is going to go here. And the text is going to be access code. Okay, that's good. Now we have the security code for the password field here. So let's set that up. Once you start typing, you should actually see the right method popping up. I like the code completion for that. Alright, so where are we gonna put this? Well, we need to put this with some bounds. See, I didn't quite do this one yet, so I wanted to figure out where to put it. So I'm gonna use this and kind of go off of it, right? So I'm going to use that and say, okay, let's try maybe at position 80. We could always come back and change it up a little bit. And let me try this being 100. We could come back to that for a later time and set it up properly. The reason why I did this right here is because you have to think about this as well. So I'm purposely leaving something here that says, hey, you better figure out where you want to put this. And if it's not in the right spot, we'll just recalculate. Copy this. Now look here, I have a lot of buttons to set up, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the code for the one button, right? And I'm going to add the action to the one button as well. Add the action listener. Let's do that again. I love to use my code completion. Hit enter. And then I'm going to say this dot create security code. Now the reason why I did that is because if I set up one button, I could set up a bunch of buttons. So why don't I just copy the one button, and I know that the bounds are different. Okay, that's for the 2, that's for 3. I'm just gonna go through and do all of them. That's for the 4, that's for 5, that's for the 6. Let's go for the 7. I don't care about those errors, we'll fix them after the 8, the 9, and then let's get the clear. Alright, so we got a bunch of buttons set up there. How about the 0? How about the enter button? Okay, so we got the buttons. So let's go ahead and knock them out. So the 1 button is first. Put the 1 button there. The text is gonna be a 1. Right, so text is a 1. And X, Y, width, and height, I got them all here. So I'm going to put those in here. And let's see. So since we did the 1 button and it's all done, let's go ahead and do the 2 button. And I know right now that this is not the 2 button, but it's fine. I'm going to change it. Change the word 1 to 2. Copy the 2 button, and that's the button that we're setting up. So you could go ahead and just keep doing this. Of course, the word 3 is going to be here. I'm going to just grab this button and put it here. I'm going to put a 3 at the text here. And this is the bounds. And what else we need? The 4 one. Obviously the 4 gonna go here, and these are the bounds. See, that's good to set up your bounds before. Even if you do make a mistake, you could always go back and change things, recalculate things. Nothing needs to be perfect when you're building. But we're just trying to make sure we have some idea as to where things are gonna go. This is the 5, and here's the bounds. The 6 needs to get set up. Copy the 6, put it here, put a 6 for the text, and put the bounds. Seven is the next one. Make things line up nicely. Make sure you do things neat. Keep it neat and nice. And put a 7, and this is the bounds. And then 8. Copy the 8. After we set these up, we're going to go ahead and look and make sure they're looking nice. If they're not, we make some changes. Here we go. Trying to get all of them nicely set up. 9. Set up the 9. So here are the bounds. Now we're going to set up the clear button. Then we're going to put the bounds in. The word here is going to be clear. And it's the clear button that we need to set up. Almost there. We've got the 1 button again that needs to be a 0. So now we're going to put a 0 here. We're going to definitely get these bounds in here. Almost done. Alright, so we have one more down here. It's called the enter button. When you name your variables nicely, it's easy to work with. As you can see, we know exactly what they are from their names. I'm going to write enter here. And here are the bounds. So right now we have the buttons set up. We're going to take a look at this and see how it looks, because it's important when you're building out these things to stop and take a look as to whether things are in the right spots and things look okay. Okay. So we just set up a lot. So let me go ahead and run this. Right. So here's my security panel. Yeah, my access code is not nice. My buttons look okay, but my access code is kind of inside of this. So what does that mean? Well, that means that this guy here, who is at 16, needs to go over some, right? So I'm going to push that over a little bit more. Go ahead and change this X coordinate value. Let's make sure it's the right one. No, it's the password field, this one. It's 80, so let's go to 100. Let's run it again. Alright, a little better, but still could go over some more. So let's go over some more. 120, how about that? Let's run it again. A little better, but too far away. Too far away from my liking here. So why don't I bring it a little bit back? And alright, a little better. I'm going to leave that. I want this to end right on the edge of this right here. So I need the width to open up some more. Width, it's 100. So let me try 110. Save and run. Almost there. You could tell it needs to be a little bit more. So let me go to 115. 115. Let's try that. Seemingly okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm gonna just go with that. So that's how it's gonna look. When the idea here is to punch in the code, hit enter, and get the code to nicely figure out whether that person allows to go in or not. Security panel, okay? Somewhere outside on a door somewhere, that if you punch in the right code, you get access. Up the building of this so that we could actually see how it looks and make sure we are good. So let's go ahead and just build some more. We have this label here, and we're going to set it up. Let's set it up. We got 3 more things to set up, and then we will be done with this portion of the security panel. So let's put in the bounds. And again, if you're doing an app, you got to make sure you know the bounds before. So we're going to call this the access log. And then we have another one down here to set up. This is the text area. Again, once you write good code, you could always come back and use it. That's the beautiful thing of writing nice methods. Alright, so we don't want any text in this one, but we do want the bounds. And then finally, we got to set up this guy, which is the scroll pane, the guy who is going to be scrolling. And I got all these methods and all these setup stuff from previous projects, so it's important to write good code. Why? Because you could reuse it. Alright, so the area that's going to go in here is this very same text area. I use the same bounds for them because the text area and the scrolling is going to be in the same spot. So let me go ahead and run this. Alright, looks good. Good. Nothing happens yet. Okay. Just wanted to make sure everything is looking good. Alright, this is editable. Don't want that. Let's see if the access code is editable. Nah, don't want that either. Remember, this is the password field. Yeah, let's go ahead and make that change. Don't want the access code or the I'm gonna make it false, clearly. And I don't want the other one up here, which is my field up here, password field, to be editable either. Make it false. Alright, save it. Let's run it again. Here it is. Well, I can't type in here. I can't type in here. This is perfect. This is what we want. So in the second video, we will actually go through and create the action such that when we punch in a security code and hit enter or clear, this app would behave accordingly. It would clear out the access code and the access log, and it will definitely give a message whether the access code was correct or not. So that's it for now. On the next video, we will actually finish this up.